Chapter 29. Huff. Fighting is tiring, other than that. Some of my personality seems to change a lot from it. I said, arriving in front of Rivera. I went around the place, looking for an inn to stay. Excuse me. Is there any vacant room for tonight? I said, entering a certain building with a lot of windows. Ah, customer. Welcome, there are a lot of vacant rooms. I'm Willie, please come this way. He said while showing the way upstairs. The place seems quiet with a few people staying, but I don't really care if it's only for sleeping. I even brought my own bed, at least it's not cold or wet. How much for staying here? I said, since here, people usually showed the room first before paying. 100,000 valis. He said, and my hand slipped, punching the wall. Say it again. I asked him to set the price again. Do you think, since my face is new here, you can shot the price like that? I said with emphasis on my words while smiling close to him. Ahaha, I think my lips just slipped right there. It should be 10,000 valis. He laughed awkwardly. Here. I said, giving him the money while he ran downstairs and scared. I went inside my room and looked around. This place seems like built roughly. I had to give some praise for them making this in the dungeon. Let's just sleep. I bring out my bed and sleep soundly. Hi. He's so scary. Just watch, I will take revenge on him. He said, which sounds irritated being threatened like that. We're back. Someone said from the entrance of the inn. Ah. Loki Familia. You're back. Willie said, welcoming them. Actually, can I ask for your help again? He said softly, being polite. Is there another problem, Willie? Finn said, noticing the troubled face from him. Actually, there's someone that threatened me. Using the opportunity that no one dared to stay here except all of you here. He asked to sleep here for free, which I couldn't help to give him since he's stronger. He said. What? Let me kick him out for disturbing the love place for me and Captain. Tioni said to appeal herself to Finn. Willie's smile grew wider. Thank you so much, Loki Familia. He said while showing the room where Aegeus stay. Tioni already kicked open the door without even knocking. Aegeus, which already asleep, felt some danger lurking, quickly run to the door and kicked the person out. A brawl started between Tioni and Aegeus. Tiona's sight being blocked by the bounciness which Tioni had. Using the small space around Tioni, Aegeus maneuver his body and kick her stomach. Tioni already used both her hand blocking his kick, got blown to the hallway. Seriously, you can knock, right? Why did you have to burst someone's door? Aegeus said while yawning and walking a few steps out of his room. Ah. Aegeus-kun. Tiona shouting, ignoring her irritate-looking sister, even though she about to pounce for revenge at her sister. Aegeus glanced toward her with his eyes half closed from being waked up forcefully. Who? He lightly asked. Tioni and Tiona froze while wind flew between them. Tiona crouching at the corner of the hallway while drawing a circle at the carpet. He hate me, hate. Hate. Oi. You just met us back then. How can you forget? Tioni shouted loudly at Aegeus. He just wiped his eyes real quick and look around. Why both of you here, Tiona? He asked without care about anything that happened. That. Tioni stuttered with her word while her face turned red from embarrassment. Anyway, I'm sleeping. Goodbye. Aegeus said, leaving Tioni and Tiona there. Quickly the other member and Willie arrived there after hearing how loud the door blasted open. What happened, Tioni? Riveria asked after noticing Tiona depressed self and Tioni standing there with a crater behind her. Ahaha. Well, it's complicated. Tioni said while pointing toward the room, made all the members curious. While all the members peeking into the room, Tioni grabbed Willie and glared at him. Speak the truth. She said while unconsciously activating Berserk. I woke up from the light penetrate the window and went to my eyes. I really want to sleep more, I thought while stretching my body, but then my hand struck something, or should I say, someone. Tiona? I dumbly said, looking the person that slept beside me. She woke up and wiped her eyes slowly. Aegeus-kun. Good morning. She said after noticing me. She hugged me tightly without letting me go. I push her head away. Mind explaining how you get here? I ask her while trying to separate us apart. She thought about how to explain it to me but quickly gave up and pointing toward the door. Ah. Then, why don't you sleep in your own room? I ask her again. The key is in Tioni and she's outside using Willy as a punching bag. She answered cheerfully. Ha, I won't ask further. Can't be helped then. Use this room as much as you want. I'm leaving after I eat. I said while sitting at the dining table and bring out my own food. You eat a lot, Aegeus-kun. Tiona said after looking at how many portions at the table. What are you saying? You also need to eat. Just get some. I said, ordering her to eat. Really? She asked while drooling, but then quickly take a seat and took a bite. By the way, Aegeus-kun. Do you have someone you like? Tiona asked while stuffing her mouth with food. What do you mean by like? Only like. I got a lot, but romantically. I don't know. So don't ask about love with me. I said, answering her. What about marriage thought? Do you want? No. Not yet at least. I give her a straightforward answer, making her stop eating. Don't take me wrong. It's not like I didn't find you beautiful. I had my own problem with love, but marriage while in different familia will also cause some problems. I explained to her briefly. She continued eating in silence. I'm sorry for telling you this, but the commitment your sisters show is better than yours. Being in a number one familia didn't mean you can have anyone you like. Show your commitment and conviction. I said, patting her head. With me being finished with my food, I started to walk out from the room, leaving Tiona there. I started walking down the stairs and reached floor 25. So, this is the Water City. No wonder people called it Water City. I said while looking around at the complex-looking floor. Hehehehe. This is it. He started to kill monster by monster that's swimming in the water, giant crab, aqua serpent, and raider fish. With luck rank A, the item that drop from them are massive in number. Not forgetting azure stone, which always being looked for by people to craft a weapon. The place looked beautiful, it was like a mountain beside the sea. Waterfall coming out from the top of the mountain dropping down to the lake, which so vast and looked like a sea. I could hear a singing voice, which I'm shocked to find a mermaid singing on a stone. She also noticed me, which made her wary of me since I'm not charmed by her singing. Not to gain any hostility, I started to back out and find another spot for me. Killing a human is not a problem for me with the experience I had, but killing human without a reason to, might leave bad aftertaste. At least that's my thought for now. I found a spot and stayed there for a few hours before leaving the floor for Excelia. Securing a few thousand each and 100 kilos of azure stone. Since some of the problems is the money which I should pay. Now, for the trick I have been thinking for. I said while thinking to activate IUOU. IUOU activated. Converting all status to magic. I heard the sound and felt weak for a few seconds. With this, I'm weaker than any monster here. I smirked since it worked well. If my thought is right, I should be able to increase more Excelia by killing a stronger monster. With this, I spend my day on floor 27 gathering materials again because they still exist on floor 27 and killing more monsters before a big dark shade coming out from the water with a huge tremor. The shadow then got out to the surface and showed its two heads. The size is so big, which made me thought this should be a monster Rex size. From the information I got, it should be Amphispina. IOU activated. Balancing status. Hehe. Since you're Monster Rex. Actually, I want to test something. I said while thinking that I could use Noble Phantasm with Gibalg. Made me want to use another Noble Phantasm. Meteor Spear. Then from Gate of Babylon launches lightning to my hand. Meteor Spear appeared, which I throw to the ground slowly, Diatricon Asterlonk. I said, saying the true name of the Meteor Spear. It turned into a green light and changed the whole area with lighter color, but everything stopped except for us. It seems like it agreed to fight me. PFFTT, you see. If I can create this another dimension. I actually want to use something. The weapon I never used. I said while taking out a key from Gate of Babylon. A complex golden-looking key came out and I grabbed the hilt. With the key in hand, I turned the hilt make a clicking noise. Feeling the dread situation it started to emit. Amphispina started to launch itself toward me. Enkidu, please. I said while the golden chain started to appear and locking it in place. This is the sword of rupture, yay. I said while stroking the sword, which is dull at the tip and start to twirling in a spiral. Let me welcome him into the world with this strike. I'm sorry for your ill fate appearing in front of me, I said, looking at Amphispina with a smile. Enuma. Elish, I said, stabbing the sword toward its direction. Everything happened in different dimensions which caused no damage to the dungeon but an explosion for Amphispina. I put EA back before releasing the effect from Meteor Spear. The aura from EA might incur wrath from the dungeon, which will become a headache for me. With EA being returned, I released the effect from Meteor Spear and it turned the surrounding back. Even though no damage is done, the wave's still in effect and causing a water stream up to floor 25. Someone stepped on a twig, made a snap sound which alerted me. Who? I said while bringing out Gibalg. Just come out already, I said while creating Gate of Babylon behind them ready to shoot. Wait. Wait. A woman's voice traveled to my ears. It's your fault, Tioni. I told you to stay silent. What? How can you stay silent when Monster Rex just vanished in front of you? Then Loki Familia party came out from the forest. Just like yesterday, Finn, Riveria, Lafia, Ace, Tiona, and Tioni. I'm sorry, Aegeus-san. It's not our mean to spy on you, Riveria said, trying to meddle in. I throw Gibalg down while sighing in this situation. Then, what made you guys here? We just take a light walk around the dungeon when we heard monster cry from this direction, Tiona said, avoiding my gaze. The truth, Tiona, I said, noticing her lie. It's because of this girl asking us to went here when she scouted for monster, Tioni said, inviting glare from Tiona. Finn sighed and stepped forward. Mind if we rest here? We're pretty tired, he said to calm the mood. Yeah, sure. I'm also tired, I said, following the flow. I sit with Finn beside me while watching Tiona that already fighting Tioni and soon involve Ace. Even though their fighting is only an argument among themselves. Finn put down his spear and leaned it toward the rock. The area we're in is like a beach surrounded with sea and forest behind us. Is there something you want to talk about, Finn? I said after waiting for him to sit. I won't ask about your skill. I just want to invite you. I know this is wrong to say this, but do you want to join my familia? Finn asked me with caution. I sigh at him while looking at his expression. Noticing my gaze, he also turned his head over to me. Both of us stare for a second before I sigh again. I can't. If it's had a connection with Tiona, then I'm sorry, I said while relaxing my body down. I'm sure you had noticed it, her feeling for you, Finn said while thinking for his familia. I don't want to hear it from you. You also noticed Tioni's feeling, and with both your status as the same familia, it should be easier for you, I said to him, replying. Both of us then take a more comfortable position to sit. I'm sorry, but with this kind of development, Tiona might leave the familia, which resulting in lowering our combat force, Finn said, analyzing the situation. Right, I get what you mean. I will try to lower my interaction with her, I said while coming to a conclusion. Sorry for making it hard for you, Finn said before getting called by Tioni, but he refused. Not long after that, we sleep there in the open. Wake up, you shithead. I felt someone slap me. Ha. You. How? I felt shocked looking at who is it. Anger came rushing to my head, my face became hot from all the rage inside. Ha ha ha. Little tiny William. Your whole life, you will always be alone. Looks like my death isn't a waste. Deep down, you didn't trust anyone. Ha ha ha. It was my cousin laughing and mocking at me. Soon the memory overlapping in my head, I want to scream but I can't. My body turned into the one that's strapped onto a chair. Felling the rage, made me open my eyes in a hurry. Ha, ha. Nightmare, I said after waking up. Everyone's still sleeping for what I see. I decided to refresh myself first. Can I talk with you? Someone then said to me. I turned my head after wiping my face with water. It's Riveria with her green jade hair and eyes coming close to me. The place we're on is quite far from the party. I'm listening, I said while splashing my face again with water. I know Finn might ask you to join the familia. What I'm scared is if you reject, he might ask you to avoid Tiona, she said and stopped right there. Continue, I said, confirming her deduction. I want you to ignore it, she said with determination. And why would I do that? I asked her after wiping my face again. This time I look at her in the eyes with my red eyes. She startled for a few moments, because I rather miss a member than having an unmotivated member. It can cause a victim to her surroundings and hurt her more. Riveria explained. I stopped my glare at her while chuckling. I guess this is why your familia need 3 of you to lead the familia. I will do what I can, but I can't promise you anything. I said before walking back to the surface, leaving Loki familia that's still asleep. In the town of Ororio, a certain goddess could be seen together. They watched the people walking along the streets making a transaction, talking, whispering, gathering information for their purposes. So, what made you want to meet again, Freya? Loki said, narrowing her eyes. Freya sat opposite her like last time. Loki brought bet that list came with her from her investigation. Ufufu, Loki. I can finally see it. Freya said, laughing lightly with her hood on. Hearing her laugh made Loki become more serious in her expression. Don't tell me another child you aimed. She asked while sipping her drink. You might not know this, at first I'm shocked that I couldn't see his soul. Ufufu, but now, it starts forming. Freya laughed in a weird manner. She started to touch her cheek to control her laughter. Just who is it this time? Loki asked. I don't know. I never put any thought on him. He engulfed anything thrown at him. I can't see his soul, but now, I can faintly see it. His soul is so clear that made me felt like gazing into the deep ocean. Freya said with a heavy breathing and a light moan while touching herself behind her robe. TCH. This time you're paying. I need to go somewhere. Loki said while leaving Freya in the room feeling somewhat pissed. Suddenly, I felt a shiver down my spine, which made me look at a certain direction but saw nothing that threatened me. Aina-san. I call her when I get inside the guild. She widened her eyes looking at me, then exhale in a relaxed manner. Thank God, you're safe. What happened? You seem different. She asked while taking a good look at me. I'm just tired, that's all. I said, brushing off the question. What? How can it only be 12.000? Are you blind or something? Someone yelled beside me. Misha that stood beside Aina whispered to her, see? Another Soma familia. She said. By the way, Aina-san. Do you mind if I get to be Aegeus-kun's advisor? You already got his brother right? Misha said with a teasing look. What do you say, Aegeus-kun? She then quickly asked me since I heard her. What are you saying, Misha? It's just a job, you know, Job. I can't mix it with my personal life. Aina quickly said. Then, you don't mind if I become his advisor? It's a job after all. Misha said, giggle a little. Aina's face already become red. If Aegeus-kun doesn't mind, then it's fine. She said slowly. How about you, Aegeus-kun? Misha said with a cheerful face. Well, even though Aina's sometimes harsh on me, but I quite used to ask an advice from her, but if it's about personal life, I don't mind accompanying you, Misha. I said while thinking when I said that. Misha turned to become red from the shy. Just kidding. You had to find someone that you like. Don't just trust adventurer like that. I said smiling at her. Humph. It's not fair. She said puffing her cheeks. Anyway, I will change my money first. I said while walking at the counter. Misha looked at Aina but then confused. Aina kept her sight on Aegeus. Aina, what do you say about this? Aina. What happened? Misha quickly asked. Misha, do you see his smile that last time? Aina asked while still looking at Aegeus's back. Yes, he's handsome, isn't he? Different from the innocent-looking brother he had. Quite rich, I would said. Misha said while looking at Aegeus, which taking out some of the dropped he got from the dungeon. No, the way he rejected you. His smile looked sad. Aina said while Aegeus could be seen laughing and talking to the one guarding the exchange drop. What is actually happening to him down there? Aina asked subconsciously. Looking at her friend worried about her adventurer made Misha smiled but decide not to interfere further. Right, I will leave all the items here and take the money tomorrow. How about that? I said to the guild employee. That would be great, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. She said and apologized. I wave at her, no need to think about it. I should be the one saying sorry here. Aina-san, Misha-san. I'm leaving first. I said to both of them. I walked outside and about to went home only to greeted by the sight of my brother talking to his party member using a big bag behind her. Oh, Belle. Counting your money, I see. I greeted them. Ah. Ni-san, you had returned. How is your explore condition inside the dungeon? Belle quickly turned to me and waved his hand. You are. Lilaruka? I asked her. She tried to cover her face by pulling her hood down. You know her, brother? Belle asked in surprise. Yeah, we met the other day. Have you done splitting the money? I asked him. NN. We split it 50-50. We made 26.000 valis. Look, Ni-san. Belle quickly showed all the money. Nice work. This is your biggest income so far, right? I said, patting his head. Belle nodded happily. I walked toward Lily, which startled a bit. You also worked hard. Please take care of my brother. I said, patting her head. Oi. Ni-san. I'm not a kid anymore. Belle refuted me but still embarrassed. Alright, I will leave first. I said to both of them and leave from the place. Belle-sama, is that your brother? Lily asked Belle after Aegeus leave. NN. Ni-san might look scary but actually, he's a nice guy. Belle said to Lily, answering her question. Finally, home sweet home. The thing I want to said but held up when looking at a broken church that no way I said, home sweet home. I entered the gloomy looking building and went to the usual room we used to stay as a familia. The room looked empty, seems like no one home. I want to sleep for a whole day. I said and dozed off, without thinking about the world. Date. Hestia already shouting early in the morning, disturbing my peacetime. I threw my pillow at her, shut up. Someone is sleeping here, and hit her face. Ugh. Anyway, Belle-kun. Meet me at Amur Park, at 6 p.m. She said and running out while cheering along the way. No. Ni-san. I also want to ask you to come. You had done many things to me and... Okay. Wake me up when the time came. I said quickly answering him and continue my slumber. I'm sorry, William. Please spare me, I never meant to. Ugh. MMNN. Aerf. Someone started screaming and sobbing. I quickly opened my eyes and sit on the bed, another nightmare. I thought, remembering the scene when I killed my ex. Sound of footsteps walking down the stone wall vibrated to my ears. Ni-san, you awake already. I'm about to wake you up. Belle said with his usual smile. I sat on the edge of the bed and sighed, trying to forget about my nightmare. Alright, let's go. I said to Belle and we both went to the park. He. Let's see, Hestia-sama face when her date got ruined. I thought along the way, imagining her irritating face. We wait below a statue at the park. It looked like the place usually used for couple to meet up and flirting. Belle-kun. Ugh. Aegeus-kun. Why are you here? Hestia glared at me, but before I answer her, someone appeared one by one. Era, is this the man that Hestia said? There's two of them. One of the women said. Era, Hestia is greedy apparently. The other laughed and quickly a flock of goddess encircled both, me and Belle. I'm sorry, Hestia. Since you said that, we have been following you. Another goddess came and said to Hestia. Demeter. You. Hestia gritted her teeth, while Belle trying to escape from the situation but instead fell into Demeter. Era kawaii. Demeter said while hugging Belle. Belle-kun. Aegeus-kun, hold them off. Hestia said while grabbing Belle and run. Just this time. I said, giving up and blocking the other goddess's path. I'm sorry, goddesses, but order from my goddess. I said, apologizing. For some reason my blockage being thrown away just like that by the goddesses, even I got thrown away. I landed successfully without injury, at least then I pray to Hestia, I'm sorry, Hestia-sama. Good luck, Belle. Finish praying for their safety. I noticed some hostile gaze toward the couple around. I spotted someone that looked like she tried to curse another couple from the alley. Shakti. What are you doing here? I tap her shoulder, which made her scream. Hiya. Aegeus-kun. she said slowly, but noticing the place where they met, she turned gloomy. "Ah no. Aegeus-kun. Why are you here?" she asked, but slowly, she scared to hear the answer. "Actually, I was waiting for my goddess back then, but she already took off with my brother," I said while looking at her pale face, hearing my answer. "Don't think too hard about it. I have no relationship like that with my goddess, but my brother might, I guess," I said, smiling at her. Hearing it made her mood turned 180 degrees. Then, do you want to go with me?" she asked, mustering all her courage even though her face turned red. "Sure," I said with a smile. We decided to went around the city, eventually finding a restaurant that looked good. Shakti rather sensitive at choosing place since her familia used to guard several places as a mediator. We chatted several things about ourselves, but mostly about our familia. She talked about how many monsters they had running around their familia. Even the cute white-horned rabbit that for some reason looked a lot like my brother, she said. Eventually, the talk moved to a romantic topic. "Aegeus-kun. Do you like me?" she asked. "That's some straightforward question," I said, trying to dodge the question while gulping my drink. "Just answer already," she said, quite shy, she playing with her orange shirt below the table. "Ha, I have been saying this to everyone. Just for a record, this world full of beautiful girls. If you said the word like, then I like all the beautiful girls, including you." I said my word. Then. "But, I don't want a relationship right now," I said, cutting her words. "Ha, you're right, an old lady like me asking a young man like you is impossible," she said, giving up, and made me startled for a bit. "No, that's not what I mean. If I want to start a relationship, I would already accept you. What's age had to do with it?" I said, explaining the detail to her in panic. "Then, tell me. Why don't you want to start a relationship?" Shakti pushing forward, "I guess this is the difference between someone desperate for love, or maybe it's just her." "Ha, alright, I will tell you a story," I said, and started telling her about my first life as if it's just happened. I throw out something like I died and made the story where Belle is my cousin, which after that, I ended up with my grandfather. "Now, do you get why I don't want to start any relationship?" I asked her again. She already crying hearing my story, whether it's from the story or because of the wine, I don't know. She wiped her tears off her face. Everyone already looking at us, thinking I made Shakti crying. Shakti then looked at me with a determined face. "I have made my decision," she said, and running out of the restaurant, which resulting in more people whispering about us while wiping her tears. I'm about to stop her, but then. "Trust more people. Trust in yourself. Be yourself. I'm waiting. Always waiting." I quickly heard a voice, this voice. "Malil?" I snapped back to reality when a waiter already looking at me with concern in front of my eyes. "Sir, are you okay?" he asked me. "Ah. I'm sorry," I said, then suddenly I felt tears on my cheek. I wiped it and walked to the front door to pay. That night, I'm not returning to the abandoned church. Flowing river could be heard flowing down to who knows where, together with the singing of cricket around the field. The stars are high in the sky. I stared at it for a long time now. I have never been sorting my mind on my past. Rejecting everything except what I got, which is my brother. Looking at a woman crying for me, made my heart feel tightened. I lay myself on the green grass beside a flowing river. Why am I that angry back then? I thought while remembering the jealousy I felt in my last life. Even then, why am I need to bring my old problem here into this world? I thought while closing my eyes for a second. Everyone is so nice to me, while I just act playing nicely and brush them off later. Without me knowing, I had turned into a hypocrite. Playing with their heart, if I knew about my problem and rejected them, maybe I never should try to act nice, but is it really just me acting, or because I just like that? No, I just want to do a thing without a hindrance, but I'm restricted myself by my feeling. Now my mind turned mixed with which one is the correct way and which was not. I even confused by myself, which one is the true me. Be true to myself. Malil, leave me a message. I never knew the true me, I had been used to act the way people want me to be. That's when someone calling me. Nisan. Aegeus-kun. Aegeus-kun. There, I saw Belle, Hestia, and Shakti calling me. They at the opposite side of the river. This is already past midnight, and they searching for me probably for a long time. At that moment I realized, I had been lost in my past life. The grief losing a parent, lover, and watching all crumble turned me into something else. That's right, I have been shackled by my past which made me distance myself. Not anymore though, if what I need is love, whether it's a lover, parents, brother, mother, father. I would just do what I wanted, from now on. I don't need to think that much. Ignoring people's love and distance myself would only hurt us both. Now that I think about it, make me look like a fool. I smile and stood up then jumped to the other side. What are all of you doing here? I asked while patting Belle. I want to say something and sorry, leaving you alone like that. Shakti said, biting her lips while turning her face away from me slightly to avoid gazing at my face. I quickly came close to her and put my finger closing her lips. No need to say. I should be the one saying stuff like this. I said, looking at her. She looked at me with widened eyes. She looked surprised but worried that I would say the same thing. You might not be the only one, but, do you want to go out with me? I said, asking her out. I took her hand and held it in my hands. Shakti smiled, the brightest smile I had ever seen with her small lips. She nodded and hugged me, then closing it with a kiss. Right on the kiss, I got a notification from Malil, but I'm too focused right now. Wow, how bold. Hestia said, watching us both. Aya. I'm not seeing anything. Belle said, closing his eyes. After a while, our lips parted a ways. She just came to her sense, when you said, I'm not the only one. Are you saying that I would have to share? She said, puffing her cheek a little. What? I mean. I kind of felt responsible, but let's just see in the future. I tried to explain, but making things more awkward. She then turned to smile at me, relax, I'm only playing with you. Polygamy is a common thing after all, even though usually not many people did it since it's hard to find money, but I do want to go out with you, with a condition that I had to be number one when it comes to marriage. I'm 38 after all. She said with a rare smile on her face. *UM*, not going to ruin the mood, but marriage between familia might result in some problem. Even though, Ganesha familia and our familia is in good term. Hestia said, already standing in between me and Shakti. NN. That's why, I had said to Ganesha-sama before this. After I dealt with the problem in the familia. I will join your familia, Hestia-sama. Shakti said, explaining why she ran back then. Congratulations, Nisan. Belle said with a smile. Looking at his face sometimes irritate me by how innocent he looked, then I quickly ruffled his hair. Shut up, you stupid brother, with a smile on my face. That night is a blessing, I never felt before. Now I need to talk with Tiona too. No, let's wait for her answer. I thought while walking home. Shakti decided to spend a night even though she looked shocked by our living conditions. I will buy us a house if you want. I said to her, making her blush. Oi, we're familia, right? You can't leave us like that, Aegeus-kun. Hestia quickly yelled. It's just a joke, okay? I know about that. I said to ease her mind while Riley smiled at this leeching goddess. But I want separate living place if we got a big place. I said, making her think about the cost, which felt like a dagger to her heart. After a little bit of celebration that I started by bringing out food like usual, all of us four slept like a baby, which then being welcomed by the warm sunlight in the morning. For some good reason, I'm the first one to wake up. I'm about to move but felt hands encircling my torso. Just after that then I remember Shakti sleeping behind me while hugging me like a koala. I remove her hand to the side before preparing food to eat in the morning. I tried to think about what should we have for breakfast until Belle being the second that awake. Nisan. You awake already? He asked, which for some reason ticked me off. Just quickly eat your breakfast and don't talk much. I said, knocking his head not to ask something that irritated me. Then Shakti awake by the sound of our argument. I went to sit on my bed and stroke her head. Wake up, I had prepared breakfast. Shakti. I said, calling her without an honorific. She quickly sobered up hearing me calling her without an honorific. She quickly blushed and hugged my waist to bury her face. Can you said it, one more time? She asked shyly. Wake up, Shakti. I already made breakfast for you. We will go to Ganesha Familia after this. I said to her, which made her face redder than before. She buried her head even further and hid behind my back. Come on, you're 38. Why are you acting this shy? I said, and she hit me even though it's not that hurt. Stop saying my age, you dummy. Ahahaha. Alright, if you haven't get down. I said while carrying her to the sofa. She sat there and then quickly eat with Belle. Walking around the city always felt like a different thing in Oreo. Each big Familia base made the place look different in each section. At least it's not that hard spotting Ganesha Familia's base with giant elephant as the building. The area got a lot of space which can be used for a common member to live while some of the higher up live inside the base. Welcome back, Captain, said one of the guards that being surveillance on the gate. Where's Ganesha-sama? Shakti asked the guard. I am Ganesha. Someone already shouting in front of the door while shouting. He wore an elephant mask cover his upper part of the face. Ha ha ha. So, you're the one that I've been hearing about. Ganesha quickly ran to me and shake my hand. Shakti knocked his head and dragged him inside. Let's talk about it inside, she said with a straight face showing her dignity as a captain. The place looked amazing. Well, you might say the monster is caged, but the place inside the cage is on another whole level. It feels more like a room for the monster. I guess only the tamed one is got a comfortable place, because when I get inside another room, some are still caged because they can't tame it yet. I had to say that a big part of the upper floor species is here. Then I found an infant dragon, breathing out fire inside a cage from its mouth. I approach it while the dragon became wary and stepped back from me. The size is quite big, around 4 meters in size, but looking at its scared face, made me confuse. Oh, you had good eyes there, Aegeus-kun, Ganesha said while still getting dragged by Shakti. Hearing Ganesha said that, Shakti quickly stopped walking and looked behind her. Ganesha dropped to the ground and hitting it with his head. Dragon is a prideful species. This one is a rare monster where only be found by chance, Ganesha said while a smile behind my back. Without noticing, I already walked toward the cage closer and closer while admiring the infant dragon. It has a blue scale around its body and yellow eyes staring down at me. Shakti quickly worried and tried to walk to me but stopped by Ganesha. Don't, if you go there, the dragon will only become more vigilant, he warned her. I extended my hand which made the dragon pull its head back. It started to walk encircling me when I arrived in the cage. The dragon felt danger around me but curious, by the way it's walking slowly and cautiously. It started to sniff my hand when it got close. I pat its nose since the face is too big. It started to make a growl but then lower its head. Amazing. I never saw it like this. Quick, Hestia's child. Get on its back, Ganesha shout. Hearing Ganesha said that made me smile and I started walking and get on the dragon's back. Ganesha started opening the cage and the dragon ran and fly above the Oreo. Whoa. Mounting a dragon felt different than using Vimana or the chariot, I said. I could feel its thinking. Let's get back down, I said patting its neck. Not long after that, we went back toward Ganesha's base. People around the place seems already used to seeing monsters around, so no panic had been made. The dragon lowered its neck for me to get down from it. Sorry about the delay, Ganesha-sama. It's really a magnificent beast, I said patting the face. Why don't you name it? It will be my gift of congratulation for both of you. He quickly said it. Is it fine like this? I asked while looking between Ganesha and Shakti. Both of them nodded at me. Is it a he or a she? I asked Ganesha. It's a she. That's why you can tame it. Monster tended to be tamed by the opposite gender. That's what I guess. Ha ha ha. Ganesha started laughing. You can just say, you didn't know, I said looking at him that already laughing loudly. My focus went back to the dragon that tilting its head looking at me. You're a she, with a light blue scale. I will call you Eis, which meant ice, I said while I could feel my body became weak after naming it. I blacked out. Waking up, I felt sleeping on a soft pillow. Shakti quickly appeared on my sight. What happened? I asked her. She just smiled and looking up, which made me turn my head to the right. There stood a full-grown dragon, with its horns and the scale combined between dark blue and light blue. She started to open her wings, which looked elegant combined with her slender body. Her height now might reach 9 meters. It evolved after you named it, Shakti said. Ha ha ha. I am Ganesha. Ganesha already shouting in happiness. I started to sit and stand up from there, along with Shakti. I tried to open Gate of Babylon as big as I can and a golden ripple appeared behind me. Do you want to get inside? I asked, which then she ran inside Gate of Babylon. She got inside not before leaving a huge cry that made the building tremble lightly. Ha ha ha. Nice magic you had there. Just as I expected from a man that my familia's captain choose. Ganesha said, laughing, but then I could feel the aura around him changed. I would say, congratulations for you. Even though it's early, since she needed to deal with some stuff where she had to train some successor for her position. I had to thank you for accepting her. Please take care of her. Ganesha said, as if a father losing his daughter. He patted my shoulder, giving a thumbs up. I'm sorry for the trouble that I have cost you, and I will take care of her, also the dragon. I said, while also giving him a thumbs up. What are you saying? What you give me is something amazing. I never thought there's a way to evolve them completely, made them separate from the dungeon. Ganesha said while pointing toward where EIS was. A huge magic stone lay there, which made me shocked. Is that? Yes, it's her magic stone, but she completely removed it. Ganesha said with a smile. Well, as long as you are happy, Ganesha-sama. I said, extending my hand, which he shakes. I will borrow Shakti for a period of time then. Take care of yourself. We will talk some other time. Ganesha said. I actually never planned to stay for long. Just take her home and ask for your permission to date her. I said. Shakti smiled behind me and kissed my cheek. Wait for me, Aegeus. She said. Since the time I'm unconscious is quite long and made the sky outside became dark. I waved back to Ganesha and Shakti, which already escorting me out from their place. The next day, I wake up having a nightmare, but not any nightmare. I dropped all my Valis into a sewer, which then led me thinking. I still got some Valis from the guild that I haven't received. Belle, come with me. I said to Belle, which still eating. Belle said he got a day off, so rather than stay here waiting for Hestia to wake up for her part-time job, I'm taking him with me. Arrived at the guild gave a familiar feeling, except some people started to whisper when I arrived. Aina-san, Asu. I said to Aina when I saw her resting her head on the table, bored. Noticing my call, she looked at me and Belle, which then smiled. What made you come here, both of you? Aina asked, since noticing Belle isn't wearing armor and we never come together. I want to take some Valis that I exchanged yesterday. I said, answering her while walking close. Aina's smile quickly froze and she began clutching her head. I forgot about that. You really give me work there. Come with me. Aina said before walking out and gestured both of us to follow her. Then we turned to the other part of the guild where no adventurer walking there. As far as we walk, we only met with guild staff that looked curious but not dare to ask. No need to think about why you are here or why no adventurer here. You are a special case after all. Aina said, looking at my and Belle's expression while walking the hallway. Soon we arrived in front of a door. This is where we kept your Valis, since receiving it in front of the guild might discourage other adventurers or create bad rumor either about you or the guild. So, we decided to use this room from now on. To keep your Valis while you had to wait for the money to be placed here if you bring that many resources and item drop. Aina explained while taking a key and opening the door. Inside the room is nothing special, it's just an empty room with Valis that already made a small mountain of coin. Actually, we want to put it in a card, but knowing you, I guess you might want it in coin. Aina said, smiling at me. Whoa. Nisan. With this much money, we can finally buy a base for our familia. Belle said. The money is a lot for sure, that made even Belle's eyes into Valis. I opened Gate of Babylon and soon the mountain of coin turned into thin air. Your magic really cool, Nisan. No matter how much I looked at it. Belle said while looking at the Valis that already gone. Hee hee. You really talk too much, Belle. I said, looking at him. How you really give me a headache. I got one more thing. Aina said in a tired tone. What is it? I asked her while she took something from her pocket and gave it to me. This is the letter from Hephaestus Familia. They want to thank you personally by selling a huge amount of materials. Aina said while giving me a letter with the Hephaestus symbol that sealed the letter. A bursting volcano and crossing hammers. By the way, Aina. How much is the total of the Valis? I asked since she got the report while I put the letter away. It's around 75 million Valis. Even the number made it stuck to my brain when I looked at the report. Aina said, shaking her head. 75, 75 million valis. Belle said, trembling after hearing how much money I got. Ni-san. Ni-san. Do you really didn't want to live a better life? For Kami-sama too. Belle quickly said to me. What are you talking? Of course I want to, but there's another thing that we had to do. I said while glancing at his black knife. Oh. Another thing. I said while noticing Aina about to go out of the room. What is it, Aegis-kun? Aina quickly asked after stopping her step. I want to register a pet. I said, dropping another thing to report for Aina. Her face darkened. Did you do it on purpose, Aegis-kun? She asked me. What? Of course not. I got it from Ganesha Familia. I said where I got it from. She sighed in defeat. What kind of monster? Can you show me? She asked. I can show you right now, but it's kinda big. It's a dragon after all. I said to her, which Belle's eyes quickly shining. Woohoo. Ni-san, you got a dragon. Why don't you tell me? Can I see it? He quickly said and shouting behind me. I started to become numb by all your things, Aegis-kun. Then how big is it? Just know that this is not a joke when I submit the report. Aina said, warning me, and also, don't let your pet loose and run on rampage or you will be banished from Oreo. She added more to her warning. Relax, I can show you, but not a full body since commotion might break out. I said while opening Gate of Babylon in the room. EIS, can you greet someone? Don't get out. Just stay there. I said, talking to the golden ripple, which soon a dragon head came out from it. Now, meet my friend and my brother. I said, patting her. See, it's quite big. It might be reaching 10 meters in size. 15 with her tail. I said to Aina. Belle already running toward me, CA. Can I touch it, Ni-san? Belle said while coming closer. Of course, do you also want to touch it, Aina-san? I asked Aina, which already turned pale and shook her head. She took a step back from the fight. Alright, go return to your sleep, EIS. I pat her again to return. Belle waving his hand saying goodbye while the golden ripple disappeared. Ha, just what did you think bringing that out like that? Do you know how scared I was? Aina quickly barraged me with questions. Ha, I felt tired just dealing with you. I will make the necessary document. She said. Thank you, Aina. I said to her, then we walk back to the front. Aina already tired and not saying anything while sometimes clutching her head. Both, I and Belle walked out after saying goodbye. Next we went to Hostess of Fertility before I go to Hephaestus Familia. Excuse me. I said, opening the door to Hostess of Fertility. Belle and I went inside, stepping at the wooden stair that made high-pitched voice from the friction. The place still not open in the morning, which explained the empty place. Going inside we only saw Seer that wiping the floor. I push Belle to talk with Seer while I'm looking for the other. Go talk to her, I will find Mia-san. I said to Belle, which confused him. Leaving Belle at the dining table, I went toward the kitchen. Ah, May. Where's the other? I said to the cat woman who should become a chef, but I always helped with her role, which made her work easier. They're buying ingredients, Naya. How are you doing, Naya? She asked while cleaning the kitchen with her chef outfit. She wore a cap that covered her hair but not her ears. Are you calling, Aegis-kun? Suddenly, Ryu appeared out of nowhere. Her head showed out from behind the back door, which usually used to go to the back alley. Nothing, it's just, I want to leave a message that I won't come here for some time maybe, I said to Ryu, which made her silent for a long time. It's fine. I'm still in Oreo. You can visit me at the abandoned church if Mia-san needed help or something. I said to ease her mind. She nodded and went inside to put the ingredients down. Looking kinda sad, which made me think. Are you busy, Aegis-kun? Ryu asked me without looking at me. She seemed dazed for a second. No, actually. The problem in the coming day is for me to rest. A lot of problems happening left and right these few days. I said, which she nodded and smiled at me. I get out of the room while her face kept stuck in my head. Now that I think about it, Ryu. I thought for a second before looking at Belle and Seer. I abolished the idea since Ryu looked like haven't noticed her own feeling. I decided to wait for time to play its hand. Have done your business, Belle? I said. Belle that noticed me already showing me a book, look, Ni-san. A book to learn magic. He said. Ha ha ha. Be sure to learn it, okay? I said, while of course noticing this event. Freya left the book here for Belle, or Seer, and Mia still helped Freya since she just partially left the Familia. Hi. Let's learn it together. Belle said, and both of us went outside. Seer, tell Ryo. She can tell me anything. I'm waiting. I said before leaving the hostess of fertility. Now, my little brother. You go home and learn it first. I need to answer to Hephaestus Familia. I said, showing the letter. Knowing the stuff I had to deal with, Belle nodded and walked home hugging the book. Seer, what did he just said? Ryo already tried to hear the conversation from the kitchen but missed the last sentences Aegeus said to Seer. Ufufu, looked like you just gained his attention, Ryo. He said if you had trouble just came to him. Seer said while humming a song while walking closer. But Ryo said while looking at her hand. Seer quickly held Ryo's hand. I think he noticed it, or else won't he just ask you out, only to get rejected by your problem? I think he noticed your burden. Seer said, assuring Ryo for her heart. I will think about it. Ryo said while pulling her hand back. Arrived at the Babel Tower. I quickly went to floor 7 to meet Hephaestus. Aegeus boy. Someone already called me when I'm getting out of the elevator. The floor only got a few adventurers who already saved up some money to buy the weapon. Tsubaki walking with a cheerful face, but her breast quickly gained people's attention for sure. Tsubaki. Nice meeting you here. I said, replying to her greeting. She walked closer until our eyes met. What can I help you with? She asked. Nothing, I just got a letter. I said, showing the letter from the guild. Ahahaha. Who would have thought it's you? Tsubaki laughed loudly while a door beside us opened. The open door gained our attention since it's right beside us. I looked at the door and found something amusing. Bahaha. Hello, Hestia-sama. How was your part-time? I greet her, which already wearing part-time clothes from Hephaestus. Any and I. What are you doing here, Aegeus-kun? Hestia lashed out, thinking, I'm here to mock her, but damn right I'm here since I got a letter from Hephaestus. Hestia-sama. I said while telling her identity as the part-time goddess. Then just quickly leave. Hestia said, slamming the door. What a goddess you had there. Tsubaki said, feeling speechless after seeing the situation. Well, come this way. Tsubaki quickly said while showing the way. She knocked on Hephaestus's door. Hephaestus-sama, the supplier of the materials are here. Tsubaki said, then giggled by hiding my identity. Tell him to wait, I had a guest. Hephaestus said behind the door. Ma, just let him in. I also want to know who is it. The guest said, which I noticed from her voice. Tsubaki then opened the door, which brings us to the goddesses in the room. Hephaestus and Loki both sat at the sofa in the room. You are Hestia's child? Hephaestus asked after looking at me. Oh ho, interesting. Loki smiled with her squinted eyes. Sorry for my intrusion, Hephaestus-sama, Loki-sama, but I believe this is yours. I said while showing her the opened letter. Mind if I know what you wish to talk about? I asked since the letter said as soon as I could visit. You are actually right on time. Please take a seat. Hephaestus said, then I sit opposite Loki. Here's the thing, when I notice a huge amount of material supply at the guild, we quickly buy it all to help our blacksmith grow, but high quality material didn't come that easy, especially from a lower floor. Loki Familia had started their plan to do another expedition in a few days. At first, I want to ask you to come with them to gather many materials from the lower floor. Of course with big payment, but who would have thought it was you? We will demand all the materials sold to our Familia with of course 30% higher price from the guild. Hephaestus explained. I could do it, but actually I also had a thought of going here. I said to Hephaestus, which she knew what I mean. Why do you need more weapons? Isn't your weapon already in peak quality? Hephaestus said. Because my way of fighting is different. Of course, I never planned to buy this soon since an ordinary sword could still cut monsters on the upper floor, but I need high quality weapons for monsters down there. No need to be that high quality, but can still cut monster for the lower floor. I got 75 million valis to spend. How much could I get? Also, if you had a magic wand, I would also take it. I said, explaining to both goddesses. You could get around 7 or maybe 8 with that much. Hephaestus said, counting average high-quality weapons. Can I loan for now? You can cut the money from the materials. I asked her. Your familia still got some debts with me. You know that I can't. Hephaestus said. I will vouch for him. Hee, Loki said, supporting me. She then looked at me. I also need your power if you go with my familia, with your magic. We can store our baggage and assure more safety for my members and also Hephaestus' familia. What do you say, Hephaestus? Ha, how much do you need? Hephaestus said to me. As much as you can. More weapon the better. I said while grinning. Hephaestus looked at Tsubaki, which she nodded and went out, leaving the room. Then, mind if I ask when is the expedition? I asked both of them. We schedule it in 1 month. Further notice will be announced if there's a change to the schedule. Loki said, wearing her poker face. Then, if our talk is done, I will excuse myself. I said while standing up about to leave. Wait up. Aegeus-kun, do you mind if you had some free time to be a guest in my familia? Loki asked me. I don't mind. I have no plan until the expedition right now. You should realize the speed of my growth is too fast. I tried to take days off now. I could visit right now or maybe tomorrow. I said to her, I also had to talk with Tiona. Then, use this to enter. Loki said while throwing a card to me. I caught it effortlessly and take a look at it. A card with a clown picture on it. I might spend the night. I said, leaving the room. Guess I have to prepare the guest room then. Loki said with a smile before I left. Is it alright for you to invite him to your base? Hephaestus said, questioning Loki. Well, that Chibi's member won't do it. Other than that, with him there, he might increase the spirit in my familia. Loki said. Jaya. Suddenly both of the goddess heard a scream from the hall. I closed the door behind me after the discussion with Loki and Hephaestus, without realizing my surrounding. Traitor! Someone shouted and give me a flying kick me to the waist. Yuka! I roll and roll in the hallway, then I got to see who kicked me. Hestia-sama. I looked at her that already cracked her knuckle. Wait. Wait. I can explain. It's for paying our debts. I quickly notice why she is angry. I already stood up and back away a step every time she took a step. It still didn't explain that thing. She pointed at the clown card in my hand. This is just... You see. I'm just scouting. I tried to reason with her. It's not a lie that I'm going to scout some sparring partner. Like hell, I will believe that. Hestia glowed with a rainbow color before punching me off the tower. Jaya. I shout while flying in the sky and blacking out, getting a punch on my chin. What happened here? Hephaestus get outside from her room together with Loki only to see a hole in Babel Tower. Hestia already returned to normal while huffing her breath. Hestia. What are you doing? Did you make that hole? Hephaestus said, which now getting a headache. Ahahaha. You, Chibi, only made a mess left and right. Loki said, laughing. Realizing both goddess Hestia froze and turned to look slowly. This. I just slap a fly. Ahahaha. Hestia laughed with sweats appearing in her face. The wall repairment cost will go to your debt. Hephaestus quickly said, didn't want to deal with the mess. Hestia felt like a dagger stabbed into her chest. Bugu. She dropped to the floor with a laughing Loki following Hephaestus get back inside the room. Wah. I quickly sit down after wake up. I got knocked out too much. I thought while feeling my head that luckily still intact. You already wake up. Someone said beside me in a graceful sound. I turned my head and saw a fox demi-human, a yellow renard with the moon behind her. Picturing a beautiful art if it was drawn. Her complex matched the color of the moon and the dark sky with her red kimono that she wearing. Even though it's beautiful. Kinda sad that it matched your sad face. I said while standing up in my place. Please don't push yourself. She said walking to me. I'm Aegeus Cranel. So, mind telling me what happened? Also, where am I? I asked her while stretching my neck. I'm Heraheim, Senjuno Heraheim, and you. You fell down from the sky. I took you to my room. She said while pointing outside. So, she is Heraheim. I thought while opening the door, and what I saw was a huge crater in the middle of the garden. The place got a space in the middle to let us look at the sky with a garden in the middle. The building is being built in a square design with room around it, encircling the garden. It looked like your typical old Chinese-style home or maybe Japanese in this case. I am sorry about this, I said after realizing I made a huge mess. No need to. Please stay for a while, she said while closing the door. Mind if I asked why? I said while noticing no one around. People still searching for you and you might get into trouble, she said lowering her head. Why did people searching for me? I asked her while took a seat on a smooth wooden floor she had. That. Actually, this is a brothel which you might be mistaken as a customer, but if you stay here, no one will check, Haruheim said. Oh, so I'm at the red light district. I will wait then, I said while taking a seat and relax for a little. Say, why are you here again? I asked Haruheim that looked empty. There's no light in her eyes at all. She only sat there and wait, while watching the stars and moon. I'm a prostitute, that's why I'm here, at the brothel, Haruheim said. I know about that fact, but why are you here if others are out there? I asked again since she's the only one in this building. Brothel without anyone inside, what kind of brothel is this? It's because I have been ordered to wait for a customer, Haruheim said without any change of expression. I see, are you always waiting here? I asked looking at her, then she nodded without giving out any words. Krenel-sama, do you mind if we wasting time by talking to each other? I don't have that many people to talk to. Aisha-san and the other always return late at night, Haruheim said mustering her courage. Sure, I don't mind. We have time all night long, I said now laying down on the floor. Really? I'm happy right now, she said smiling while a tinted blush appeared on her face. You should smile more often, I said while mesmerized by her smile. Damn it, how can this world full of beauty? I thought with maintaining my poker face from being seen. I will try my best, she said acting cheerful that may be the first time in a long time. She didn't realize that because of the situation where this is her first friend since being kicked out from her family. Since Krenel-sama had asked a question about me. Can I ask you a question? Haruheim said while sitting close to me. Ask away. I let her ask any question, but I heard someone step outside the door. Someone stopped but with the intent of visiting Haruheim. The step is firm and stopped right at the door. Krenel-sama, are you from Orio? She asked while for the first time, I could see color in her eyes. Looking at her behavior made me chuckle. I'm not from Orio, I just arrived here and started becoming an adventurer, answering her question. Why are you becoming adventurer? She asked another question. To become stronger and protect those who are important to me, I said with conviction in them. By the way, why are you so interested in Orio? Didn't you live here? I asked her about her weird question. She shook her head. I'm from the Far East, a place with 4 seasons. At least, until I got kicked out from my family and being sold here, she said, which turned the mood around. I'm sorry. I gave her a quick apology. It's fine, but it's not that I don't want to come here. I have been wanting to visit this city. I heard stories coming from this place. Haruheim quickly explained herself. Is it about the story of heroes? I raised my brow. You knew about it? Haruheim quickly intrigued. Of course, who doesn't? My brother loved to hear the story each and every night before going to bed, I said, boasting about my brother's hobby. Then, do you like a hero too, Krenel-san? Haruheim asked, anticipating a positive answer. Sadly no. I do not like hero stories that much, I answered by giving my opinion. Why, Krenel-sama? Haruheim asked with a surprised face. Because the hero story had been changed for people preference. It's not the true story. Except for maybe some story, I said, patting her head with a sad smile. Haruheim surprised hearing my answer and took a step back from me. How can you say that? Haruheim asked slowly. I went back to sit position and looked at her. Listen. Have you heard a story about a hero who killed a prostitute to regain his dignity as a hero? I asked her, which she nodded. Why? Tell me why he needed to kill her in the story. I asked her again. Because, she's a prostitute. Like me. A prostitute is a symbol of disgrace. Haruheim said, which no smile anymore in her face. Only a lifeless doll face being put there. It's not that I didn't like a hero, but what I didn't like is the story. A person that is called hero are people that protect. You don't have to protect the whole world. Even if he didn't kill the prostitute and save her, he would still be a hero, from the girl's perspective. I said, standing up and walked to the window, watching the moonlight. Haruheim's face looked shocked with her eyes widened and her lips parted away. Now, the answer is yours. Do you want to be saved from this place? Along with that woman behind the door? I asked while extending my hand to her. She looked for a second before turning her head to her door when I said someone is there. So, you noticed me here. Since when? Someone opened the door by sliding the door to the left. From the start. I noticed a sound of footsteps stopped there. I said, turning my body to her. You looked confident. Saying about saving us both. Sadly, it can't be done. She said, shaking her head. You knew little about this world. If I said that I could with confidence, then there's a way. I said, shrugging my shoulders since I didn't care what she said. Prove it, right here. Right now. She said. Since I just got this. I have been wondering its usage. I said while pulling out something and dashed behind the woman. She startled and didn't have time to react before getting stabbed in the back by me. Suddenly, she got enveloped by purple lightning. She screamed at first but quickly grunted really hard. You, what did you do? She asked me while already on the floor. Aisha-san. Haruheim yelled, looking at Aisha on the floor. Aisha is an Amazoness with usual dark brown skin color and wearing purple bra and underwear while covering her leg with a thin purple cloth that transparent. Krano-sama, please. Don't do this. Haruheim said, looking at me with tears. Too late. She asked for it. I said nonchalantly. Just take me. Don't hurt Aisha-san anymore. Haruheim said while holding Aisha, which had no more purple lightning surrounding her. Well, it's true that I'm hurting her, but let me ask her. I said, walking closer to Aisha but blocked by Haruheim. Relax, Haruheim-san. She already get past the hardest part. I said, smiling at her. She quickly looked at Aisha, which already groaning about to awake. I walked past Haruheim, which let down her guard when looking at Aisha. I got close to Aisha now that I had done it. You had to come with me, or else. I will be in trouble, got it? I said while picking her up on my shoulder without waiting for her answer. Let me come with you too. Haruheim said, worrying about Aisha. I pull out Gi-Balg and stabbed it to the thing around Haruheim's neck without hurting her. The black necklace thing turned to dust and disappeared. Follow me. I said toward the garden that I destroyed. The mana too eye-catching while Achilles' chariot could produce light to cover it up. So I got the chariot out, and mount the chariot, your hand. I said to help Haruheim up since she looked surprised by the chariot that appeared out of nowhere. She eventually boarded the chariot and off we go. Arriving at the broken building at the remote place of the city. I went to the room that I live with my familia while surrounded by the sound of crickets around the place. The moon still high in the sky when I arrived with Aisha in my hand and Haruheim walking behind me, which her expression is mixed with worry with excitement. Her tail already wagging left and right when walking. I walked slowly and being welcomed with the tense atmosphere in the air around the sofa with a book at the table. Hestia glaring sharply at the book while clutching her head while Belle kneeling on the sofa with sweat around his head. With the tensed atmosphere and Belle kept looking down, both of them haven't realized my arrival. I kicked Hestia off the sofa, move, that's for punching me down the babble. I said, giving her cold gaze when she looked at me. She quickly turned her behavior and glued to me, it's okay, Aegeus-kun. I forgive you, we're family right? She said cutely, which made me uncomfortable. You. Let me guess. We got more debt which then you want me to pay. I quickly guessed, noticing this behavior from her. Her face froze in a surprised face for a second before she said, T. She quickly sat beside Belle while I placed Aisha on the sofa slowly. By the way, Aegeus-kun. Who are they? Hestia said, which got Belle's attention too. He quickly lifted his head toward me and take a look, which he tilted his head to the side. They are our new members, of course. I said while walked toward the bed and put another one with some space in between. Hestia nodded for a second, agreeing before she could wrap around the thing I just said in her brain. She quickly shocked by opening her eyes and run to Haruheim, is it true? You want to join the familia? She said with an anticipated face. I. No, I can't. While she could, since she hasn't received another god's blessing, I had. Ugh, my head. Aisha said, sitting at the sofa while holding a side of her face. Aisha-san. Are you okay? Haruheim quickly ran and went to Aisha, but she ignored her and looked at her back. Now, you got explaining to do. Kidnapping a prostitute from the red light district could be a crime. Aisha said, scaring me. Red light district. Kami-sama, I heard it correctly, right? Bell said while his face turned red and he biting his finger's nail. Mamma. Aegeus-kun. Explain it to me. Hestia also flustered and quickly yelled at me. Sure. I said while walking toward them. I sat beside Hestia, which she got to sit in the middle. Haruheim already sat with Aisha on the opposite side of the table. Now, you asked me if I had the power to save both of you from that place, and I did just that. I said nonchalantly. You don't understand. I'm a member from Ishtar Familia, while maybe Haruheim hasn't got inside the Familia, but she. Aisha quickly stopped while noticing no slave collar around her neck. What? How? Aisha quickly snapped at me. I couldn't hold my mouth and made a grin, noticing her surprised expression. I told you. I just saved both of you. I don't really care about you actually. I only want her to smile. I said, making her even more confused. Haruheim also started touching her neck where the slave collar was, but she quickly noticed that it's gone. Gibalg is the spear of mortal death. Nothing couldn't be destroyed by it, in this mortal world. While what I did to you is using this. I said while taking out a blunt, zigzag sword with hardened steel color and exquisite hilt. This is Rule Breaker, Destroyer of Magic. I want to try it when I got this sword. Now lay down there. I said while pointing toward the bed. Aisha then flustered before following my hand toward the direction I was pointing. Ufufu. Usually, people had to pay, but it looked like you're persistent. She said, which made me raise an eyebrow. She walked toward the bed and started taking off her purple bra, which Belle quickly ran outside, and I hold Hestia that also about to run. Now, shall we play? Aisha said, inviting me to the bed that I placed for her. Turn, lay on your stomach. I said, ordering her while dragging Hestia. Quickly, she felt something wrong but still following my instructions. I put Hestia on her back, which she wiggled around, refusing. Get her inside the Familia. I said, which shocked both of them. With the moment of thinking, I prick Hestia's finger and drop her blood on Aisha. To her surprise, her emblem quickly drawn on her back. Level 3. Hestia muttered slowly. Aisha quickly got up and made Hestia rolled off the bed. She quickly looked at me. You. Don't tell me that sword. She said. I nodded at her. Yes, I erase your god's blessing. I said while sitting at my bed. She quickly regained her composure and smiled at me. You really are something. She said, remembering her words back at the brothel. What about you, Haruheim? Aisha already joined. I said we're both. Aisha and me looked at her. Ooh. But. I'm a pros. She quickly stopped while her body flinched after noticing my glare. What did I tell you about? I already saved both of you. Stop lowering yourself. I said with a threatening tone. Her wagging tail then dropped down, including her ears. She nodded slowly, which then Hestia smiled widely after getting up. The process is short if not for Hestia shouting that she got magic and make a scene out of it. Now, for both of you. There's of course rule here. Hestia quickly said to both her new members. Her dialogue took the attention from Aisha and Haruheim. No one flirting with my Belkuan. She quickly shouted before sleeping on her bed. Ufufu. Look like we got a particular goddess. Aisha said. I lay on my bed about to sleep while closing my eyes. Yes, just follow her rule or not is up to you. I said before realizing a presence in my bed. Why don't we have fun while your goddess sleep then? Aisha asked behind me with a flirty tone. Next rule, sleep in your own bed before I throw you out. I said without moving. You are no fun. Fine, since you saved me from that life. Aisha said, not before leaving a kiss on my neck. Kranal-sama. Just Aegeus will do. You will confuse everyone here. I said, stopping her since someone's twin tail hair already perked up hearing Cranel. Aegis-sama. Thank you. She said before sleeping beside Aisha. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.